and welcome to today's video. If you're new to this channel, hi, my name is Rachel and I run my own small business here in Auckland, New Zealand, where we sell houseplants and houseplant related supplies. If that's something you may be interested in, make sure to check out our website www.growinggreen.nz, and this is our YouTube channel where we make videos all about those houseplants, houseplant supplies and behind the scenes of the small business. So if it sounds like something you could be interested in, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below, go and check out the rest of our videos, and if you do enjoy this video, make sure to hit the thumbs up button at the end. So jumping straight into today's video, I am going to be giving you a tour of my grow tent. If you haven't already, make sure to pause this video and go and check out this video up here somewhere, and also in the description box down below I did a full video on how I actually set up this grow tent, the equipment I used and the process behind it. So if you want to go and watch that first, I highly recommend it. Then come on back to this video because today I'm going to give you a tour of the grow tent and I'm going to be repotting the plants in here, watering the plants in here, and just looking after them and giving you a general idea of how everything is going in here. So let's get started. Okay, so as you can see behind me, this is what my grow tent is looking like, and as you can obviously tell, all the plants in here are super happy and are thriving. I used to keep all of my Anthurium outside in my greenhouse and they did okay during the winter time, but I found this winter they have actually thrived through the winter season rather than just surviving. They have been putting out a whole bunch of new leaves and growing a heck ton of new roots during the spring as well, because it's now spring. So I'm going to go through all of them and see which ones need a repot and get that done. So this is my entire Anthurium collection. As I go through it and pick out plants that need to be repotted and repot those, of course I'm going to show you all the plants that I have in here as well and name them for you and tell you a little bit about them and show you their progress and kind of stuff like that. So let's pick one out. First of all though, if you're not already, make sure to go and follow us on our Instagram page. I'll pop the link in the description box down below so you can go and check that out. I did actually already repot a couple for a few reels and stuff like that, advertising for the business, etc. And this one I repotted about a month ago now, and as you can see it is already putting out a brand new leaf, and that's in 4 weeks. So that's how you know that your plants are in desperate need of a repot, when you repot them and they instantly start throwing new leaves for you. So that is a sign that now is the perfect time to do it. And also make sure to go and check out my last video, no, second to last video, where I did a full tutorial on how to know when to repot your plants. I'll go through it a little bit again here, but if you want to watch the full video, make sure to go check it out down below as well, and up here as well. So as you can see here, it is getting some very juicy roots as well. There you go, look at that, nice. And if I turn it around, you can see all those roots coming, and here as well, heaps of roots coming through there. So the next one I'm going to show you is my variegated forgetii, which is one I actually repotted in that how to repot video, and it's been 3 weeks since that. And as you can see, look at that, the roots are coming through. Look at that one. Oh, that's a nice new root, delicious. And all the roots coming through, it's looking so good. And that's in a matter of 3 weeks. So after I go through and repot all of these plants, I should be able to see some really nice growth really quickly. It's also going to be hard because now I'm upsizing all of the pots. It's going to be hard to find space to put them all because they're all been in like small to 12 centimeter pots. So it's going to be hard to find space for like 14 centimeter pots, but we'll get it done. Alright, this is going to be a little bit of an awkward filming angle, so excuse that, but I kind of want to show you like what I'm doing at the same time. This is my Anthurium Ace of Spades cross. As you can see, she is super pretty and quite big actually. This leaf is yellowing a little bit, so I might lose that leaf when I repot. But it has just thrown me a nice new leaf. Look at that one, that is so pretty. But it does look like it's in need of a repot. I don't normally like disturbing new leaves until they've hardened off fully, but it's pretty close enough for me. It is a smaller leaf than the other 2 leaves because these are the 2 leaves that I got it with, and it was shipped to me from the South Island. So it obviously is just, you know, readjusting to its new environment. So hopefully the new leaves it will give me will be larger. But that's okay, but it'll start somewhere. So yeah, that is going to be the first one I'm going to repot. Let's take it out to the greenhouse. So you can kind of get a better look at it here. Look how pretty that is. But I'm going to start by obviously unpotting it and seeing what kind of pot size it needs. It doesn't need that stick anymore. When I got it, it actually only had like 1 or 2 tiny little baby roots. I had to basically root it myself. So yeah, I would consider this. Look at that. Quite the win. Perfect, and you can tell it needs water too because it's all just falling off. It's so dry. So you can see on the bottom there where it was chopped, it was a top cutting, and obviously those are all of the roots that it has gained since being with me. It actually isn't a lot of, like it's a lot of roots compared to what it had, but if you look at it and compare to the pot size, it's not like a massive pot. So it wasn't pot bound by any means. I'm going to put it in a pot larger because yeah, this is the growing season, so I'm hoping it's going to grow a lot more. So let's find a next pot. So we have the 14 centimeter clear pot here. It's a little bit hard to see because of the white background, but we get the point. I'm going to be using our in-house growing green houseplant mix for these. Some of them I'll be using fern fiber just because I like to experiment, and I will be adding a little bit extra fern fiber than what's already in the mix to make it a little bit more friendly, because they seem to really love that. So let's make a little mix really quick. And then I'm just going to go ahead and pot it up. I don't know why on these Anthurium the roots seem to be growing upwards, which is not the best, obviously. Right, I got rid of that stick, but I'm probably going to need it back. These big leaves are so heavy. That's better. It just holds it in place because it is so tall. Now I'm going to create my watering mixture. I want that, and I want that, and I want that. So this is the range that I use the most. It's the Growth Technology. If you're a plant lover, you've probably already heard of them, and if you haven't, what are you doing? Because this is seriously one of the best brands of fertilizers out there. Like, you see pretty much immediate results with these. I'm going to be using the Complete Focus as the fertilizer. Normally for this plant I would use the Foliage Focus, but I've just run out of a bottle of that and I have a bottle of this open. So I'm going to use this up. It'll do exactly the same job. And then I'm going to use some CCS as well. This is the Clonex Cloning Solution. This one helps you start off those roots again. And this one is the Root Zone, which feeds those roots. So I'm going to mix them all up in a watering can, wherever that is. Okay, let me move this back a little bit. And then I'm going to use 5 ml, which is 1 pipette. And then I'm going to use a little bit less each of the CCS and the Root Zone, just so it's not like overpowering for the plant. I love opening a fresh bottle. Oh, a little bit of that, probably half a pipette, I think. A little bit of Root Zone as well. Again, just like a mil. Ta-da! So the person who I bought this off knows it's an AOS cross, but they weren't 100% sure what it was crossed with, because they also just purchased it as like an anonymous cross. So we'll see. It's looking pretty good, but I'm just going to water it all the way through, give it a nice drink. Because it was so dry, it's gonna love this. Because I've been so busy lately with the business. Let that drain all the way through, and we're good to go. Easy as that. I've just been meaning to repot all of these plants in my grow tent for such a long time, and now it's finally the time to do it while I have a quiet week before the storm of markets. So yeah, that's the first one, my Anthurium AOS cross. Alright, so we made it back to the grow tent. I'm going to put it back up here where it came from. I'm actually going to do this one next, which is behind it. This is my Anthurium Velvet Eclipse. This one is a Dresslerii crossed with a Pappy cross. This one was from the Green Grower. If you guys in New Zealand know obviously who they are, I'll put the link in the description box down below. I don't think they actually just stock them like all the time on their website. I think they do like kind of drops of them. But yeah, this is one of the ones from their first ever drop they did at the Hamilton Plant Market a wee while ago, and it is looking pretty good. It was just 2 leaves, and it's popped out this massive leaf for me before, bigger leaf comparatively to that one, since the market, and then it's just gone very quiet for winter. Now that it's spring, I can see that it's definitely quite pot bound, so that will help a lot. I don't know if you can see all the noodle roots in there. Yeah, look at that. It's growing some new roots at the moment, but it just shows that it needs a little bit more space to breathe. So this is victim number 2. Another really easy way to tell, by the way, whether your Anthurium need watering or not, I don't know if you can see that, but on the edge of the big leaf, they're actually curling inwards. If you look on the front, so you can see like a dip here, and the leaf is actually curling backwards in on itself. That kind of makes it a little bit easier to see, but not really. That is how you know it needs a really good drink. So let's tip her up and have a look and see what we got. Again, just a really gentle squeeze to encourage her out. She's not actually coming out the bottom yet. Oh, no, she is, look. So yeah, definite sign that a repot is imminent. And look at that. Nice. Very nice. Okay, time to get all this old substrate off. Yeah, now this is one that desperately needed a repot. The other one would have been okay for a little bit longer, but this one, look at that. It has an absolute network of roots. I always get rid of my old soil, like no matter whether it looks good or not, because you never know what is lurking in that soil. Plus it's been in there for like a year, like more than a year probably at this point, to be honest. And it's just used up all the good stuff in it anyway. So time for biffing. So I'm going to be using the same soil mix again. I know a lot of people hate repotting their plants. Are you a repotting hater or a repotting lover? Personally, I'm a repotting lover. I love the satisfaction of repotting them and then watching them come back to life and growing again. I know it's a pain when you've got hundreds of plants, which is why I kind of, if you already know, have been watching my videos, got rid of a lot of my plants at the beginning of this year because they just weren't bringing me joy anymore. I just kind of want to like work on the plants that do bring me happiness, which is definitely the Anthurium. I think that this could do with a bigger pot because that's already taking up all the space in that pot. I'm going to get a 15 centimeter pot for that one. Back in a moment. And we're back. I have a bigger pot here. This is the 14 centimeter I was going to put it in. This is the 15 centimeter. And I think, yeah, that's going to be perfect. Which means I'm going to need a little bit more soil. Probably a little bit more fern fiber. Mix, mix, mix. Alright. Ta-da! So much better. That is going to have so much space to grow in there. Alright, better. I'm going to put some spag around the top for this one because it does have some little roots poking out here. So I'm going to do that. Now you don't have to do this with your Anthurium. I just like to do it when I can see that there are roots coming out of the top here because it helps them grow faster, gives them, you know, that moisture that they need. But you don't have to put spag around the top. As you'll see with the last one, I didn't because there's no roots poking out the top, so there's no point. Now before I go back inside and get the next one, I actually wanted to show you this one. I picked it up like 2 days ago and it's been sitting in my greenhouse. I've been meaning to unpot it and have a look at it and check it's all good. But these leaves have perked up since I got it. It was a little bit wet and it was a little bit damp. I don't know. It had just been overwatered a little bit. Obviously they just watered it before I picked it up, which is totally fine. But I've let it dry out a little bit and it has come back to life. This is an Anthurium at Fort Sherman crossed with Bessie AF. This is so pretty. The parents of this plant, oh, it's going to make quite the combo. Look at the color. Anyway, so with new plants I always will tip them out after a few days and have a look at them and make sure that they are actually healthy before I put them, especially in like a small space like a grow tent. I don't want any pests or any fungal nothings. So let's tip it out and take a look. So it definitely does have a lot of roots already, which is great. And they've done the little spag moss trick with the roots too, which I will show you has worked very nicely. See how it's nice and white and fluffy and growing? That is what the spag moss does. It helps the roots get started. See, there's another one coming here. You can see that one getting started. So yeah, the roots look great. These roots are all growing nicely at the bottom here. You can tell the difference between like a dormant root and a non-dormant root. The dormant ones are all darker in color. They're perfectly fine. They're just not growing. As long as they're not squishy, they're fine. And then obviously the lighter color ones are the ones that are growing. So yeah, it looks good to me. I don't think I need to do anything. I might actually give them a real quick dunk in hydrogen peroxide just to kill off anything, just in case. You never know. First I'm going to get rid of this. So this is the hydrogen peroxide that I like to use. I like to mix up 250 ml of this to a liter of water, so about a quarter dilution. And I've put it in this container here. I'm going to dunk the roots in it. And what this does is it just gets rid of any kind of nasty bugs or fungal whatevers that I don't see in the roots, just in case. And it gives those roots a bit of a boost as well. They do like it. So there it is. I'm just going to let it sit in there for a while. I might repot another one in between while it's sitting in there, and then I will pop that one up. Alright, so this one is going to go back where it came from, next to this one. So now I'm going to bring you back to this next tray behind me here. I'm going to pick this one up. Now this one is definitely in need of a water. Look at that leaf. It has totally curled in on itself. That makes me so sad. I'm sorry. These two look alright though, but this is my Anthurium clarinervium. Now this one has only ever held like max 2 leaves for me, so this whole 3 leaf situation it's got going on is wonderful. But yeah, look at those roots. Again, much needed. Need of a repot for these poor little noodles in here. Is so dry. The leaf on this clarinervium is so pretty. Look at that. It's like the perfect little heart. I love it. Okay, let's unpot her. Poor thing. Oh yeah. It's so dry. Again, all in one chunk. So this one is actually growing in tree fern fiber, so I'm going to be putting it back into tree fern fiber. Again, not for any particular reason, it's just more that I like to kind of play around and, you know, try different things out. And if this one's happy in fern fiber, then I'm going to leave it. There you go. Look at those noodles. Delish. Alright, I'm not sure what size pot I'm going to use. I think Yeah, one size up is going to be too small. I think I'm going to go up to the 14 centimeter. So my aim with my plants is to normally only repot them once a year in spring. So I don't mind going up like a slightly larger pot size to allow this to happen, because obviously the less repotting the better, even though I kind of enjoy it. So yeah, once a year is the main goal. It seems to be working out pretty well so far, and the plants don't really seem to mind it. So another little bit of spag around the top. Alright, so I already pulled the next one out of the grow tent just to kind of speed up this process a little bit for myself, because otherwise I'm going to be here for hours. But this is my Anthurium Regal Cross Magnificum, who is actually not looking the best, and I think it's because it needs a repot, hopefully. As you can see, both of the main leaves are kind of yellowy. That one's yellow in the middle, that one's yellow on the edges. It does have a lot of nice roots though, and it is giving me some babies in here. Hopefully you can see that, which I'm going to split up and repot into their own pots. I think that might be because the plant is not doing so well, so. Ooh. She was holding on though, I'll tell you that. Again, look at that, poor thing. Oh my gosh, the greenhouse is going to bloody take off in a minute. So it looks kind of alright. The roots are fine. There's no root rot or anything like that. Okay, so again I have a 14 centimeter here, but I definitely don't think that's big enough. So I'm gonna get a 15 and switch that out. Yeah, way better. I don't know what I'm gonna do next year when they're all going up from like 15s to 17s, but and we're good to go. Hopefully next year I'll have a big beautiful plant again. Alright, we're going to come back to this one now. It's been sitting in here for about an hour, so time to take it out and pot it up. Let me just drag her out. I'm going to put it into a 12 centimeter pot. It probably could go a little bit bigger, but just because it's my first time like repotting it, I'm just going to put it in a small size pot. I can't wait to see what she looks like in a year's time. This is probably the most sort of uncommon one that I have. The Fort Sherman in it is, you know, gonna be so stunning. Alright, so the last one I'm gonna do in this video is my variegated Anthurium crystallinum. She is so cute. Look at that beautiful variegation. I just edited this video up until this point. It's actually really long already. So I'm going to leave it after this one and do a two-part series for you. And I'm gonna have to repot the other ones a lot quicker than I am doing in this video. And that will definitely be out within the next 2 weeks, because I'm gonna continue repotting from now, obviously, but I'm just gonna split it up into another video. So anyway, let's tip her out and have a look. And it is actually a week since I repotted those other ones. I had a market and stuff in between, so I got a bit distracted with that, but we are continuing on. Let's have a look. Again, very dry, but very healthy, I think. It's lovely. Look at that. Beautiful, perfection. So again, I'm gonna repot it into our houseplant mix. This is a 10 centimeter pot, so I'm going to probably put it in a 12 or a 14. So here we have a 12 and a 14. Let's have a look. 12 would be okay, but I think 14 will give it, you know, that extra room to breathe for the next year. So that's the one it will be.
So that is the end of part 1 of this video. I've officially repotted everything on this shelf here. If you want to come back and watch how I repot the rest of the grow tent and see all the rest of the plants in here, make sure to check that out in the description box down below when that comes out, which is hopefully within the next 1 to 2 weeks. Also, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you do get notified when we upload that next video, and also give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in part 2 very shortly. Bye!